Hello, everybody. In today's podcast, we are going to have a talk related to the Islamic sciences. We are going to speak specifically about jurisprudence, known as fiqh, and how was the appearance of such science within Islam and the need of it within the Islamic society. We have to say that the leading scholars from the past, they set themselves to the task of compile from the Quran and from the Hadith instructions that with time came to be known as the law from God. And these are detailed instructions on how a Muslim must conduct or guide his life. We have to emphasize that the discipline of the Islamic sciences is in fact broader than fiqh, but specifically since we are talking about jurisprudence, we have to say that there were many schools of law in the past. Each one was started by a specific scholar, but with time, only 4 schools of jurisprudence within Islam have remained, and these are the Hanafi school that was started and compiled by Abu Hanifa with the assistance of other scholars. The Maliki school, which is a school of jurisprudence that was started by Malik ibn Anas. The Shafi'i school that was founded by Muhammad Shafi'i. The Hanbali school that was founded by Ahmad Idris ibn Hanbal. And regarding this, I want to say that these schools of jurisprudence emerged from the 8th century onward and went to establish the first science to be termed Islamic within the Islamic religion. It is interesting also to say that the aim of this science of jurisprudence of fiqh was to extract, like I said, from the Quran and from the prophetic traditions, from the Hadith, the body of fundamental principles and rules related to the Muslim creed, the ritual practices, social affairs, transactions, impersonal relations, and many other important topics related to the life or how a Muslim person must conduct his or her life. Then legal rulings appear, known as fatwa, that were produced that could be applied when the text are open to several interpretations, and therefore, as a result of the way they are formulated, the vocabulary employed, the circumstances in which these texts were written, enunciated, and when the scriptures are silent, then these legal rulings are necessary. And that's why the importance of the great work that the scholars have done throughout the ages, and especially the great founders of these different schools in the past. Over time, yet another science was to arise out of the need to regulate the methods of extracting these rules. And this is the science of the fundamentals of law and jurisprudence. And regarding this, several scholars had noted the proliferation of multiple, sometimes contradictory legal rulings that had no clear methodological basis. And then that's why this science was important, because they sought to correct this. Regarding this important science of the fundamentals of law and jurisprudence, the Shia Muslims believe that the first scholars that established this science formally was Ja'far as-Sadiq, while the in Sunni Islam, the invention of this science, the creation of this science, is attributed to Imam Shafi'i, who died in the 9th century, in the year 820 approximately. Therefore, fiqh or jurisprudence would go on to become the mother science with which the science of the fundamentals will be naturally associated. And it has remained so to this day, and the religious authority of the jurist stands as the authority of reference among all the other Islamic sciences in both Sunni and Shia Islam. And again, this is something necessary in Islam, very important. There are other Islamic sciences in Islam, such as the sciences of the Quran, sciences of the Hadith. We have also Sharia, we have Tasawwuf, and God willing, in a future video or future podcast, we are going to speak regarding this science, the science of Tasawwuf, and we will explain a little bit more about what it is, topics, famous people, important representatives of this current of purification of the heart. These are the scholars who devise, let's say, I don't want to say technique, but it's instructions to help the Muslim, to help the individual to get this inner path towards the divinity, this inner bond with God. For example, while the Sharia or the jurisprudence tells you and regulates all the things, the external things, for example, in prayer, how prayer is conducted, the number of rakats and prostrations, etc., is like the exterior thing. Tasawwuf comes to look into the heart, look inside, look at the intentions, look at the motives, look at the sincerity of things. What cannot be seen, that's what Tasawwuf comes to regulate and comes to help the person to implement and to connect, to have this deep bond of unity with God, this deep connection with the Creator of the world. God willing, we will go deeper on this topic in, like I said, in the next video or in the next podcast. As always, I want to thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. And God willing, we'll see each other in the next podcast.